Hi everyone, my name's Amy. Today I'm going to share my favorite pie crust recipe. This recipe is so old. It is from my elementary school and it's from a teacher who taught there at Lincoln School in Racine. Her name was Kathryn Aylward and she taught there from 1924 to 1948. That's how old this recipe might be, even older. And it's just titled Flaky Pie Crust, and I'll leave the recipe in the description for you. But this is a foolproof recipe. It always turns out delicious, not soggy, nice and flaky, perfect for pumpkin pie or apple pie, which is what I'm gonna be making, or any pie. It is just delicious. You're gonna love it. So we start with 3 cups of regular flour. I'm just using the Pillsbury Best flour. It's already in the bowl. And then you're supposed to cut in 1.5 cups of Crisco. So I have mine measured out here. So 1.5 cups goes into the bowl. And now I'm gonna actually take my fork. I have a huge salad fork I'm using to just get that into like a mealy texture. Okay, pouring in the sugar, 2 tablespoons. And we need 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, 1 teaspoon of salt. Trying to go slow so I don't overdo it. Okay, 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, I'm going to continue to mix that really good. Get all that sugar and salt incorporated throughout. We're supposed to have that mixed with the flour, so don't forget before you cut in the shortening that you have your flour and your sugar and salt already pre-mixed. Okay, now this is what it looks like. Next, we need to add egg and water with vinegar and then mix it. Okay, so I'm going to crack the egg into a bowl. Okay, the egg is in there. 1 egg is all you need. And then we need 6 tablespoons of water. Cold water. And I'm pouring it in the egg mixture here. 6 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hopefully you can see this with that bowl in the way there. And the vinegar is the secret, I think the secret ingredient. And we need 1 teaspoon of vinegar. I don't know what it is about, oops, a little bit too much, so I'm not gonna put all of that in there. I think the vinegar is what makes it extra flaky and gives it that good flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this really good. Just kind of beating it here like this. And then we're gonna mix these 3 together and add to the flour mix. Okay, and we're gonna just, now it looks pretty wet, so we have to chill this because it's a pretty moist mix right now. We're gonna get that really good and incorporated. Okay, now it's pretty sticky, so I would not want to work with it like this because that would be really difficult to roll out. So we're definitely going to chill this probably for about 2 hours. Okay, it is ready to go in the fridge. I'm going to cover it and stick it in the refrigerator. Okay, here's a close-up of the recipe. It's copied from my mom's cookbook that she had from my school. And you can see you need 3 cups regular flour, 1.5 cups of Crisco, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon vinegar, 6 tablespoons cold water, 1 tablespoon sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt. You cut that shortening into the flour, salt, and sugar mixture. Then you combine the egg, the water, and the vinegar into a mix, and then you pour that mixture into the flour mixture and get that all incorporated. And then, yes, we definitely need to chill it probably for a couple hours. Then I'll come back, roll it out, and put it in my pie plate for you. I also have a little mixture of the apple pie mix that I'm going to be making. So we'll do that next. Okay, now it's time to make the apple mix for the inside of the pie. So we need 3/4 cup sugar. So I've got my little 1/4 cup here. Oops. Okay, so I need 3 of these. Two. And 3. And we need 1/4 cup of flour. So I'm just going to use the same little. So 1/4 cup of flour. Actually, we're going to do this because I don't want to make a mess. There we go. 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg. It smells so good. It's fresh. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon. And only 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. These are the cinnamons from Penzeys here in Wisconsin. They make the best spices. If you ever come to Wisconsin and you need some spices, go to Penzeys. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just have a lot of their spices. It's a great store. They've got different locations. Okay, so after you do that, a little dash of salt. Yeah, that's good. I kind of like my sweet things to have a little more salt than, I don't like things to be too sweet. This might be, but we have to have the right balance of apples. So I'm just mixing that up so it looks like this. Smells so good. Okay, set that aside. Now, I like to use a combination of different apples. So I have some Honeycrisp, I'm not sure what these are, and I have some Granny Smiths. So you want to have some sour and some sweet to give it a nice different flavor. Okay, so I'm using the potato peeler now. I might still use the corer and the slicer, but I'll probably just peel the apples first. and then use the core. I need 6 cups of apples. So I'm gonna finish peeling and coring and slicing these apples, and I'll show you how small I actually slice them. So I got 6 cups of apples, peeled, cored, and sliced. So I think I used 2 Honey Crisp, 1 Granny Smith, and 1 of these. Maybe it's a Red Delicious. I don't know. But now I'm just mixing it with the cinnamon sugar nutmeg mixture. Again, there's some salt in there. And just getting out those apples all covered really good with that mix. Okay, I have my oven preheating between 400 and 425. Since my oven is runs hot, I have it set for 400. I divided my dough in half. The other half I put back in the fridge for when I roll out the top of the pie. So I have my wax paper. I put some flour on it, and I have some flour on my dough. I'm going to put the top piece of wax paper on top of my dough, and I'm going to take my rolling pin and roll it out. And the wax paper and the flour prevent the sticking and gives you a nice clean way to work with the dough. Now, one thing I want to say is I had to add a lot of flour to my dough when I took it out of the fridge. I'm wondering if I didn't use 3 cups of flour. I may have only used 2, but after adding more flour, I see that I have the consistency that I'm used to with this pie crust. Okay, now I'm gonna take the top off. See how nice that is? You don't have flour all over the place. And now I can just flip this over to the top of my pie pan. Let's see, I think I'm gonna go like this. Nice. It's gonna work out nicely. Whoops, it's falling off. Like that. I'm trying not to make a mess, but it's inevitable. Now I'm gonna kind of bring it up so it sits nicely in the pan. And I'm not gonna trim off my edge yet. I'm gonna leave that for now. Now, the next step is getting my apples and pouring them into the pie pan here. There is a lot of juice on the bottom here. I'm not sure how much of that juice I'm gonna pour into the pan. I guess all of it. I don't want my pie to be soggy, but I also need all the flavor, right? So I'm a little unsure about how much of the liquid I'm gonna have in the bottom of my pie. Now I could put more flour in here to thicken it up, but I don't want to mess with the formula either. Doesn't that look amazing? I don't know if you can see, but there's some juice in the bottom. I'm gonna not put that juice in. Before I roll out the top and put it on, the recipe says to dot the pie with 2 tablespoons of butter. So I'm gonna put that butter on the inside of the pie on top of the apples. I'm just gonna cut up my butter into little cubes here, little triangles. Them about. Little squares of butter. That could make the dough crispier too, more flaky. All right, now we're gonna put the top of the pie on. Okay, good. It's pretty even. You don't want it to tear. Oops, it kind of teared right there. I think it's a good thickness. With my hands, I'm just going around the edges, taking off the crust, the extra dough, which I might, you can make a little mini pie with this. It's quite a bit. Make a pie and a half. But, I didn't want too thick of a crust either. I think I have the right amount, and from my past making this pie, I know that that's about how much you end up left over. You usually have like a room for another half of a pie. Okay, now we're gonna take a fork. I don't do the fancy, edge. I just take my fork, dip it in some flour, and go around and seal it. I like baking it in a glass pan. Now they say to sometimes wrap the edge in tin foil to prevent from over baking as well. I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna take a knife and cut some slits in it. Just so the steam comes out. Yeah, I just did 4 slits on the top so that it looks like that. Okay, it's got the butter inside. It's ready to go into the oven. I'm gonna put it on the center rack. And sometimes pies do spill over, so just know that that can happen. Looks pretty good. I'm excited about it. And it needs to bake for 40 to 50 minutes from 400 to 425. Now I did not put the tin foil on yet. I think I'm going to wait to the end, and if I see that it's burning, then I'll put the tin foil on. So I'm gonna set it for 40 minutes. And check on it then, and if it needs tin foil, put the tin foil on then. I think that'll work. Hey, so I rolled out the leftover pie crust, and I'm gonna put it in the freezer. It's enough for a bottom of a pie. You could make a pumpkin pie with this, or make a small chicken pot pie and divide. There's enough for that. So this pie crust recipe, you could make one pretty large apple pie and a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and it makes a good amount of dough. So just so you know, I just rolled this out in parchment paper and put in a freezer bag, and I'm gonna put it in the freezer and use it for another pie on another day. Okay, the pie beeped, it's ready to come out. I can tell that it's smoking on the bottom of the oven because I think some of the pie juice leaked out. I did have to put some tin foil around the pie at about 30 minutes in because I noticed it was getting a little brown. It's been cooking for 40 minutes, about 41 right now, so I'm going to take it out and check it. Whew. Too bad the apple juice is on the bottom. Have to be very careful taking it out. Let's see if you can see it. Okay. I think it needs like another 3 minutes. So even though it's burning on the bottom, ugh, I hate that. I'm gonna put it back in for about 3 minutes. Wants to stick to the trivet, just so the top gets nice. Okay, so I'm gonna try to just break off a little bit of the crust. I can't eat a piece of the pie for you right now because this is for Thanksgiving tomorrow and I wanna bring a whole pie down. So I'm just gonna break off a little tiny bit of the crust here where there seems to be a little extra. There, just get a little taste. It's so good. It's flaky, crispy, delicious. You can't go wrong with this crust. I am not a great baker or cook. I made many mistakes along the way today, but this is no fail. So I hope you enjoy, I hope you try it. It's better than buying the grocery store type that you know, that's easy, but it doesn't always taste as good. This is awesome. So enjoy your holidays and I hope you like your pie.